Well, a fair go for Australian business. That's what the federal government says is driving new rules to help local manufacturers compete for major projects. The struggling steel industry says it's a badly needed win, but critics say the plan is just protectionism. Simon Palin reports.
Battling a high Australian dollar, labour costs and red tape, many Australian businesses are being left behind by competition from overseas. Now the federal government has confirmed a plan to help them.
This is an endeavour by the Commonwealth to make sure that Australian businesses get a fair go.
From July 1, new laws take effect, giving local manufacturers a better chance of winning contracts on projects which receive more than $20 million in federal funding. At least one economist says the plan amounts to protectionism.
If you exclude international manufacturers, you might end up paying a higher price for a particular manufactured item.
But it's being welcomed by the unions.
This is about ensuring that we reverse the trend of what's gone on in Australia's resource projects for far too long. Recent studies from the Australian Steel Institute have shown that up to 90% of componentry on major resource jobs at the moment is coming from foreign sources.
And at a crisis meeting of steel workers, Paul Howes has lashed out at the Reserve Bank for not cutting interest rates.
I believe the RBA has made the wrong call. I think that the manufacturing industry, in fact most homeowners in this country, need a cut in interest rates.
In fact, he wants the federal government to urgently review the Reserve Bank's charter. The government says that's not going to happen.
Paul Howes represents a very small part of the economy in terms of union members and industry trying to drive the national policy agenda, and it's very dangerous if governments are influenced by these types of minorities.
But Paul Howes has found some support from business groups.
The Reserve Bank Board, if it is concerned about the position of small businesses, jobs and the economy's growth, needs to reduce interest rates not by 0.25%, but by a full 50 basis points.
And new data shows consumers could also do with some rate relief. A key measure of consumer sentiment fell 1.6% in April, the lowest reading in 8 months. Economists were expecting a stronger result after signs of global economic improvement and after the Reserve Bank pointed to the potential for an interest rate cut when it meets next month.
I think there's no doubt that the run of economic data in Australia is consistent with the Reserve Bank needing to cut interest rates.
And there was another new piece of official data supporting that view. The number of home loans fell 2.5% in February, underlining continued weakness in the housing market.